CBS 46 News at 9 on Peachtree TV starts now.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for the Saturday edition of CBS 46 News at 9. I'm Mike Dunstan.
And I'm Brittany Miller. The government shutdown is in its third week, and it could begin to put a strain on the nation's busiest airport.
Around our nation, more and more TSA workers have been calling out sick, and they are deemed necessary, and they're working without paychecks. Also, air traffic controllers are too, and they are beginning to feel the strain of an extended shutdown.
Right now, CBS 46 reporter Yasmina Alston is live at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Yasmina, as Mike just said, air traffic controllers are now feeling the impacts of this shutdown.
Brittany, that's right. For starters, air traffic controllers are working with no pay, but despite that, they're still coming to work to make sure that every plane that leaves this airport and flies into this airport does so safely.
It is the busiest air traffic control facility in the world.
Every flight into and out of Atlanta's airport is controlled right here.
We work airplanes at a higher altitude. We work them down into the terminal environment. We work them as they're climbing out.
But what air traffic controller Dan McCabe calls an already stressful job is taking another toll.
And now you've got a new stress that you get to take home with you, and that is, when am I going to see a paycheck?
Air traffic control employees are directly affected by the partial government shutdown, resulting in no pay plus more.
It's a stalemate. So we're unable to train new people, we're unable to hire new people, and we're stuck with what we got.
Still, it's about safety and efficiency.
We're going to show up to work. We're going to move airplanes from point A to point B safely.
Then there's the what ifs.
It's going to happen whether the government's open or not.
The Super Bowl in February will bring an estimated 1,500 extra planes into the city, and with a government shutdown, a year's worth of preparation is stalled, leaving some asking, what if it lingers until then?
A lot of behind-the-scene things that you can't even imagine are in play, and all of these meetings they're scrapped. We can't meet. We can't meet with the NFL. We can't meet with airport authorities. We can't meet with other lines of business within the FAA, and we're sitting here scratching our head wondering how we're going to pull this off.
So as you can see, work doesn't stop for air traffic controllers because of the partial government shutdown. And we did ask, is it safe to fly? The answer that we got was yes. We're live at the airport tonight. Yasmina Alston, CBS 46 News.
And we will keep everybody posted. Yasmina, thank you. Tonight, CNN is reporting hundreds of TSA workers are calling out sick at major airports during the partial government shutdown. Call-outs increased more than 200% at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport this week. In New York's JFK Airport, they're seeing as many as 170 workers calling out every day. Now, the report doesn't mention Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, but it does suggest wait times could be affected all over the country if TSA employees call out sick in protest. And we spoke with some local travelers who are actually pretty happy the sick calls are not affecting them.
That's really tough, and I appreciate them still coming to work and hanging in there. I have a daughter going back to college, so if they weren't on their job, I'd have to drive to Nashville, Tennessee.
This is a hard job. I understand this is a hard job. And then on top of that, to not be getting paid, it's rough. It's rough, and I can understand.
The TSA confirming call-outs began over the holidays and have increased, but they say it's causing minimal impact. We did reach out to Atlanta's TSA for a response, but a spokesperson couldn't comment because he's furloughed.
Today, civil rights activist Reverend Jesse Jackson showed up to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport to talk to TSA workers about the partial government shutdown. He says federal employees deserve better treatment.
No one in the White House is missing a check. They're coming every day, people are missing their checks. Some of whom cannot send their children to school, cannot get their groceries, cannot pay their house notes.
The union, which represents 700,000 workers in the federal government, is calling for the end of the shutdown. The president of the American Federation of Government Employees released a statement today saying, quote, "We fully support the House Democrats' plan to end the shutdown and reopen the government. I call on President Trump to take this opportunity to show hardworking and devoted federal employees, including federal law enforcement officers, that he values their work. Please sign this bill, end this shutdown, and stand up for America's workforce."
Many of those people, maybe even most of those people, that really have not been and will not be getting their money in at this moment, those people in many cases are the biggest fan of what we're doing. No, we won't be opening until it's solved. We think this is a much bigger problem. The border is a much more dangerous problem. It's a much bigger problem.
President Trump talking recently about how he believes a lot of federal workers are supporting the shutdown. He also said that the shutdown could go on for months, even years. And despite more talks between congressional aides and White House officials today, there's still no end in sight tonight. CBS 46's Mola Lenghi is getting you up to the minute.
As the partial government shutdown began its third week on Saturday, Vice President Mike Pence, Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen, and Presidential Advisor Jared Kushner arrived for talks with congressional aides.
Our aim will be to find a solution, not just simply to end the government shutdown.
After the meeting, the Vice President's office issued a statement calling the discussions productive, and both sides plan to meet again on Sunday. On Friday, President Trump made clear he is standing his ground on the border wall and said the shutdown could continue for months or much longer.
Absolutely, I said that. I don't think it will, but I am prepared.
After his meeting with Democratic leaders, the president also told reporters he could use emergency powers to divert Pentagon funds to build a wall.
We can call a national emergency because of the security of our country.
Saturday morning, Mr. Trump tweeted the Democrats want billions of dollars for foreign aid, but they don't want to spend a small fraction of that number on properly securing our border. Figure that one out. As Washington tries to figure it out, the shutdown is taking its toll on about 800,000 federal workers across the nation, like these federal corrections officers in Massachusetts.
The fact that I have to wait for a check that's going to come, even though I have to show up every day, is disgraceful to me.
You have to prioritize certain things, feeding your family, the gas to get to work, potentially heating your home.
On Friday, a group of federal employees held signs and chanted outside a federal office complex in St. Louis, calling for an end to the shutdown. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
All right, well, the partial government shutdown stinks literally on the National Mall. Porta potties are overflowing and indoor bathrooms are locked up tight. The Park Service was able to get a contractor to bring in portable toilets before sending its workers home on what is now unpaid leave. However, it's unknown what will happen now that there is no one to empty the facilities. And of course, stay with CBS 46 for the latest on the government shutdown. We'll bring you any and all updates on our CBS 46 News app. Molly?
Well, good evening. I think a lot of us were happy that we didn't have any rain. It was the first dry day of the year, and it's the first day that we've been dry in almost 8 to 9 days in Georgia. CBS 46 pinpoint radar is very quiet right now, and thank goodness for that. It's quiet across the southeast. No rain in sight for the next couple of days, so just enjoy the nice, quiet weather. It is chilly tonight. Temperatures are dropping into the 40s pretty much all over Georgia, but the temperature is very clear, or the skies, I should say, very clear. It's 50 in Atlanta, 46 in Marietta, and 48 in Lawrenceville. Many of us headed for the lower 40s to even upper 30s through the overnight hours, but right now 52 in Covington, 50 in Griffin, and 45 in LaGrange. Over the next couple of hours, as our skies are very clear, temperatures will start to plummet. So by tomorrow morning, 41 in Atlanta. It's going to feel like the upper 30s when you factor in the very light wind out of the northwest, but tomorrow afternoon looks stunning outside. I'll show you how long we're going to stay dry in Atlanta and in Georgia in just a few minutes. Mike?
All right, Molly, see you a little bit later. Well, Atlanta's homeless problem might look a little bit different and soon. Tonight, efforts are underway to find long-term solutions for getting homeless people off the streets. CBS 46's Bobeth Yates has details on how.
Since the Pine Street shelter closed, efforts are underway to find a place for those displaced in the community. But the momentum has picked up with the Super Bowl approaching, and officials are hoping to have a solution in place before the big game.
What we're proposing is a 24-hour service center.
George Chitty with the Atlanta Downtown Improvement District says in less than a month, the area's homeless problem will look a lot different.
There are tent cities, frankly. There are encampments that have started to emerge around Atlanta. There's one under I-20, there's one under the bridge near Grady. And a lot of the folks who are there are chronically homeless and service resistant. They don't want help as it's being offered right now. And so one of the things we've found is that we need to be able to make help available in a way that they're actually going to want to take. And building a diversion center is part of that.
Chitty says the diversion center will be a permanent solution, offering services to help get the homeless off the street, as well as decrease the costs associated with housing the homeless at the jail or taking them to the hospital. And they're considering the Fanplex as the new location. But the plan has left many in the homeless community with mixed reactions.
It's an old story. Why is it all of a sudden the most important thing now? I did 11 years out here.
Well, if they're going to move the homeless people, I think they should put them in a place.
But Chitty says it's vital that something is done now because so many different organizations are donating to help solve the problem.
So, yeah, Central Atlanta Progress was worth 100, Midtown Alliance was worth 100, the Buckhead Neighborhood Association was worth 100, the Super Bowl was ultimately worth 100, and there's more from elsewhere.
Now, officials stress that even though they're looking to have something up and running before the Super Bowl, they are still looking for a permanent solution. And they're looking at several locations for this diversion center, including the current jail. But regardless of where they have it, they say they will have it up and running prior to the Super Bowl. Back to you.
Well, Beth, thank you. An update tonight out of Southeast Georgia. Wilcox County Sheriff's deputies say, you see him right here, Bo Dukes is in custody. He was wanted for helping Ryan Duke cover up the 2005 murder of Georgia beauty queen and teacher Tara Grinstead. Bo Dukes was also wanted for raping 2 women at gunpoint at a home south of Macon on New Year's Day. And tonight we're digging for more details about how deputies actually caught up with Dukes.
That's right. We're also working to learn the identity of the woman killed in a hit and run in Atlanta. It happened last night at James Jackson Parkway and Proctor Street in Northwest Atlanta. Police are working to gather more information. So far, a vehicle description has not been released, but of course we will keep you updated. In the meantime, 2 men are recovering at Grady Hospital after both of them were shot in their legs. The men were found by police at 2 different locations, one on Delmar Lane and the other on MLK Jr. Drive. However, investigators tell us the incidents are related, and of course we'll let you know what we find out. The Walton County Narcotics Unit is showing off their latest drug bust. After searching a home on Birch Street, officers found pot, prescription pills, a gun, and large amounts of money. We do know 2 people were arrested.
A major milestone for the Marines when CBS 46 News at 9 returns.
Plus, Metro veterans come together for some mental healing in a very physical way.
Plus, that McDonald's attack that has the internet abuzz. The worker at the center of the cash register confrontation speaking out a little bit later.
And if your New Year's resolution is to get in shape, you'll need to get some very good advice about gym memberships from Better Call Harry.
We'll have more sunshine for Sunday. Temperatures staying mild for now, but cooler, more winter-like weather is on the way. I'll show you when it arrives here in Georgia right after the break. Stay with us.
Well, today some emergency work began to help clear a flooded Cobb County pump station. This after we told you how a pump failure caused untreated wastewater to be released into a creek. Officials say their main priority is to stop those overflows.
The challenge right now is to make sure we minimize as much as possible any impact on our people and the environment. Get the water levels down inside the well to a level where we can start redirecting it, the wastewater back into the water treatment plant.
Workers are hoping to have everything back to normal by the end of the weekend, and we are updating you on our free app. Be the first to know. Text CBS 46 to 23765.
Now hiring DeKalb County Public Safety. There are more than 100 positions open for police officers, fire crews, the sheriff's office, and emergency response. We went to today's job fair in Tucker. Give DeKalb County a call if you think this could be a career for you. Also today will mark history for the Marine Corps. A platoon of women will be the first to ever train alongside a battalion of men. It's happening at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot on Parris Island. According to a release, the Marine Corps leadership decided to integrate training to make it more efficient. The Marines began accepting women for armed combat positions in January 2016. The first 3 women to join the infantry came a year later.
Well, CBS 46 is fighting for our veterans, and so is a local organization in Cobb County. They're making efforts by giving vets another way to cope after returning home. CBS 46's Glenn Marshall caught the group in action.
It's hardcore training.
This is not a kumbaya moment, okay? Oh, yeah.
Retired Staff Sergeant Gerard Turner knows
49.
too well.
Oh, yeah, 50.
Luckily for Turner, this mixed martial arts training is more about coming together with other veterans and retired professional athletes.
It's intense, and it's for a reason. You know, now that I'm out of the military, and it's hard to find this mentality, but to be here with your fellow brothers and sisters in arms, it just takes you back 13. 14.
The group calls themselves Merging Veterans and Athletes. The organization meets Tuesday nights inside Smyrna's Manu MMA Club to endure rigorous physical training. And if they stick around, their bodies won't just get a workout. These men and women will also connect on another level, adjusting to civilian life.
Therapeutic for them to come and be able to basically talk about the things that are preventing them from moving on in life. And this is one of the venues that allows them to do that.
MVP Atlanta chapter coordinator John Sterling helps lead these men and women in overcoming PTSD. For Turner, the discomfort on the mat is worth it.
I can't count, Jesus. Sometimes there's things you don't want to talk about, but being here, you don't have to talk about them. You know, I don't have to explain. There's certain people that give me a look in the eye, and I know what that look means, and it's good.
He may get thrown, but he's able to release some of his mental pain with comrades.
So often, you don't feel like anybody can relate to you. You feel like you're alone. This right here, MVP, is an opportunity to realize that you're not alone.
And any veteran can participate at no cost. Head over to vetsandplayers.org to find out how you can get involved. Back to you.
Thank you, Glenn. And a reminder, CBS 46 is fighting for our veterans. If you know of a vet who needs help, please let us know. Email fightingforourvets at cbs46.com, or you can give us a call. The number you see there on your screen, 404-327-3055.
All right, let's get to what you all have been waiting for, a look at our Super Bowl 53 countdown clock. We are 28 days and 21 hours, 12 minutes and 10 seconds away from the big game. You know, it'll be here before you know it. But as the game grows near and closer, football fans got an opportunity to meet former football defensive back and Atlanta Falcon D'Angelo Hall at Lenox Mall today. He played 14 seasons in the NFL and was drafted by the Falcons. Today we asked Hall who he thinks might make the Super Bowl.
The Saints look really good to represent the NFC. AFC's a little bit more up for grabs. I still like Kansas City. I like their offense and how explosive they are. But New England's kind of that constant, man. They seem to always get it together at the right time.
We'll have to wait and see. Today's event was all part of a Ticketmaster promotion in advance of the Super Bowl. And I'm sure you heard us say this before, but CBS 46 is your official Super Bowl station. We will have extensive coverage leading up to the big game, and you can watch Super Bowl 53 only right here or on the other channel, CBS 46.
You know, yeah, it's true. The other channel.
The other channel.
We're on Peachtree TV right now. You know, our recent rain heavily soaked much of the ground here in Metro Atlanta, causing several trees to topple over. We found this one on Ormwood Avenue in Atlanta on Brownwood Park. Great news here. Even though that tree is down, no one was hurt.
A lot of rain we had.
A lot of rain.
Last week, the week before that.
Let's to the future. Now looking back to the future.
The future is bright.
You have to
it really
know where
is.
You got to wear shades, right?
You know, I couldn't find my sunglasses today because I've just kind of pushed them to the bottom of my purse.
You didn't need them.
I haven't needed them for
them.
like almost all of December, but now here we are in January 2019. It was soggy for the first couple of days, but now we're looking at some sunshine in our forecast. For 2019, so far, over 2 inches of rainfall. Usually throughout the month of January, we see a little over 4 inches of rainfall, and we received all of that rainfall for January so far just in the first couple of days. We still have a lot of the month to go, but thankfully the next couple of days look very dry. We're going to stay dry. A nice calm pattern starts to take over, and we're going to enjoy a lot of sunshine. We deserve the sunshine after all of the rain. Here's the system that brought us all the rain on Friday. That's going to continue to push off to the east, and we're going to stay very dry, very mild for the next couple of days with high pressure building in. So enjoy the sunshine for Sunday and enjoy the really mild temperatures that we're going to see. Not so much in the morning hours. That will be chilly under clear skies tonight. We're going to see some very cold, more winter-like temperatures, but it will not feel like winter by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. Let's pinpoint what's going on in Marietta Square tonight. It looks gorgeous outside. The skies are clear and temperatures are already starting to fall. It's 46 in Marietta with the wind out of the west and northwest for most of us. It actually only feels like 41, and many of us will see wind chills in the upper 30s, mid to upper 30s by tomorrow morning. 52 in Athens, 47 in Gainesville, and 50 in Atlanta. Right now only 43 in LJ. It's very likely the North Georgia mountains will see the 30s through the overnight hours, but the decreasing winds, that's good news. The wind a little bit brutal this morning as you step out the door. I saw a lot of people bundled up running, maybe getting out to run. It's been a while since you've been able to run outside. It's going to be the same deal tomorrow. The wind is just going to be a little bit lighter. And here's a look at what the wind chills could feel like by tomorrow morning. 39 is what it's going to feel like in Rome, 39 in Carrollton, and 39 in Noonan. It'll feel like 40 degrees in Atlanta. But look at this big warm up we're going to see by the afternoon. By the lunchtime hour, it already feels like the 60s outside, 63 by 5 o'clock, and many of us will see the upper 60s, even a few of us will see the 70s. 70 in LaGrange, close to 70 in Athens, and 68 in Atlanta. But take into account what our normal high is this time of year. That's 52, so we are going to be well above that. We're actually going to stay well above that for the next couple of days. And just look at all of this sunshine on our 7-day forecast. By the time we get to Tuesday, though, that's the arrival of our next system. It's going to be a cold front, not a lot of moisture with it, not really a lot to worry about, but it might produce a few showers. The chances are so low that I've left it off the 7-day forecast. But it will bring some colder air. I'm talking 50s, so not significantly colder, but definitely some colder air starting to move in, and that will bring us some nights close to the freezing mark. We're going to dip below the freezing mark by the time we get to Wednesday night. Into Thursday morning, our next best chance of rain will arrive on Saturday, but even at that, only a 20% chance of rain. That's nothing compared to the 80, 90, 100% chance we've been dealing with for the past couple of days.
Still scares me. I just feel like I'm just so traumatized from all the rain we've had these past couple of weeks. 20%, it's too much.
It's too much. Dramatic, right?
Move to California then, okay? Because, you know.
He's always trying to shoot me out.
Let's try, hey, just keeping it real.
Michael.
Everybody at home knows what I'm talking about, right?
Listen,
No,
we're
they
going to
love
see
me.
close to 70 tomorrow. So,
I know.
you know,
What is there to
focus on
complain
that.
about? And what
I
are we
know.
in? We're in early January? Come
Listen,
on.
Mike, people always want to complain about the weather. That's what I know as
Not
being
me.
a meteorologist.
Are you talking
This
on me
one.
like I'm not sitting here?
This one over here.
Yeah, people
Whatever.
always want to complain about the weather.
You guys get it,
People,
right?
Brittany.
You guys get me. We're here. I know.
right.
I get it.
All
Thanks,
right,
Molly.
Thanks, guys.
You know, these days, plenty of people are hitting Metro Atlanta gyms to fulfill their New Year's resolutions.
That's right. But before you join a club, Better Call Harry has some tips so you won't strain your wallet while you're straining your muscles.
And they're not just for young folks. Allergies are becoming more and more common as folks get older. Details ahead. Well, maybe you or maybe somebody you know has overindulged over the holidays. And if dropping a few pounds is your New Year's resolution, you might be thinking about joining a gym.
So Better Call Harry has some guidelines before you sign up.
If you're looking for a gym as part of your New Year's resolution, the deals are now. Some gyms, like Planet Fitness, are $10 a month. But the BBB's Mike Boynton says before you join, figure out what activities are most important to you.
You've got to set your priorities about what you are looking for in a gym membership.
Is it exercise classes, weight training, or swimming? None of it matters if you join a gym too far from home or work. Location is a big part of the equation, as are the deals. Crunch memberships start at under $10 a month. LA Fitness runs between $25 and $30 a month with a $99 initiation fee. But again, look beyond the prices. The Metro Atlanta YMCA, for example, offers free childcare with a family membership. Whatever you choose, take a tour and get a free pass. And don't feel pressured to join on the spot.
If they offer it right now, odds are if you show up the next day, offer will still be there.
Many gyms will offer auto payments. We say pay manually until you know that you are committed for the long run.
Sometimes there's a limitation, perhaps a 30-day free trial offer. You give your credit card or your debit card, and then it will continue to be charged every month. You have to opt out very early on.
And when you find the right place, be absolutely certain that what you expect is what you get.
What is said is one thing, but what you sign is another. That's what you're going to be held to.
Just remember, what you sign is binding, not what the salesman told you, so read the contract and know going in what the penalties are if you decide to cancel early. I'm Better Call Harry with the BBB Report.
'Tis the season for resolutions, but have you made any financial ones? It's not too late, but just like losing weight, you won't see the results overnight, so it may take some time.
Spending and saving is the same thing. You got to set your goals, and it's a long-term strategy. So you got to be able to stick with it and see the results over time. It's not going to happen overnight.
So find out the top financial resolutions you need to secure your future. That's tomorrow right here on Peachtree TV at 11:30 in the morning on Public Affairs on Peach.
Well, a fish worth $3 million. That's still ahead.
Oh my goodness. Plus, half of all car accidents happen at night. One reason, poor visibility. We'll show you how checking your headlights could create safer roads.
And the Chinese taking a giant leap into space to land on the dark side of the moon. Why it's causing a new space race among nations. Still ahead.
Look at this beautiful view of Mercedes-Benz in Centennial Olympic Park right now. It is extra beautiful outside because it is finally not raining. in Atlanta. We are quiet on CBS 46 Pinpoint Radar. We are going to stay this way through the overnight hours. And it's not just us in Georgia and Atlanta that is quiet. It's actually all across the southeast. In fact, a lot of the eastern half of the country is pretty quiet. The only places we have some rain and some weather in the northeast and way off in areas like California. We're seeing some rain, but most of us very quiet. We do have a little bit of chilly air just up to our north, but so far in Atlanta and the southeast, we are holding on to some fairly mild temperatures. Now through the overnight hours, we will dip into what's more of a winter-like pattern, but by tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be right back into the 60s, just like what we saw today, close to 70 degrees for tomorrow. The wind has been a little bit stronger, but now it's starting to subside. And in Atlanta, 50 degrees, 46 in Marietta, and 52 in Athens. I'll break it down for you hour by hour for tomorrow. And when we might see some colder afternoons move back towards Georgia, that's coming up in a few minutes. Mike?
All right, Molly, thank you. Well, have you seen it yet? It is a shocking video. You see it right here. It really is blowing up the internet. We're talking about a McDonald's employee fighting back after a customer attacks her.
Well, the woman has now hired an attorney and says she was placed on leave following this incident. CBS 46 reporter Grady Trimble has those details.
Yeah, I didn't have no control of my body when he grabbed me.
An unhappy meal. Yasmin James says this customer lashed out at her because he had to ask for a straw. When the argument turned violent, her boxing training from when she was a teenager kicked in.
I was scared, so I just wanted him to just get off. It was just, get this man off me. Just please get off me.
Police arrested Daniel Taylor for the attack, but to James, that's not enough. She wants McDonald's to address the larger problem of worker safety. Customer service, she says, shouldn't come at the expense of the employees.
This is the last straw for violence against all workers and all women.
James says none of her co-workers called 911. She had to do it herself. And she claims her manager didn't take action to get the customer out quickly enough.
I don't want to be blamed on him. I want to be blamed on the way he was trained. Right. Because he's not a bad manager. It's just that when that happened, it's like he didn't know what to do.
In a statement, McDonald's tells us, we share the community's concern and are taking this disturbing incident very seriously. We firmly stand with our employees everywhere, including our employees at this restaurant who were involved in this incident. For now, James is taking a leave from work.
I don't want to be at a job place not comfortable, being paranoid and scared.
Her attorneys are weighing legal options and in the meantime calling for the charges against her accused attacker to be elevated to felonies.
Well, tonight, one man is behind bars. He's accused of vandalizing a civil rights museum and several historic churches in Savannah. The Ralph Mark Gilbert Civil Rights Museum was among the first properties along Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard to be hit New Year's Eve. Savannah's first African Baptist church and the front door of St. Philip's Monumental AME Church was also vandalized. Neighbors say that they can't believe someone would do this.
Shocked. Yeah, very shocked. It's really sad that, the things that we're going through now, that somebody would just randomly walk by and throw a brick through our window.
Police say a tip from a Facebook post led them to 29-year-old David Smith III. You see him there with a brick in his hand. They arrested him Friday in connection with a string of crimes.
Every time I see one of y'all reach out for me, man, I can hold my head up.
Today, hundreds of people gathered here in Houston as efforts to intensify to find the person who killed little Jasmine Barnes. The 7-year-old was shot in the head last weekend by someone who opened fire on the family's car. The sheriff has released this artist sketch of the suspect, and NASA has actually helped enhance a security video of this red truck the suspect was driving. Somebody shot to death 3 men late last night at a popular LA bowling alley. Investigators say someone opened fire near the entrance just before midnight. 4 others were also shot, but they survived. Tonight, investigators are still looking for a gunman, also a motive.
In tonight's health alert, new research shows it's more common than previously thought to develop allergies in adulthood. An estimated 26 million adults have a food allergy in the U.S. That's about 1 in 10 adults, and nearly half developed at least one of their allergies in adulthood. Shellfish allergy is one of the most common in adults, followed by milk and peanuts. But researchers also found many adults believe they are allergic to foods when they're likely just suffering from intolerance or another health condition.
Patients need to get a proper diagnosis so that if they are at risk of severe reactions, they're prepared to deal with them. It's also important because it can be misdiagnosed, or people can think they're allergic to the wrong things and avoid foods unnecessarily.
The study also found half of patients with adult onset allergy had very serious reactions that sent them to the ER. And smartphones, which have been linked to teen depression, could help detect the condition in the future. Scientists are testing experimental apps which can track as many as 1,000 signals that could point to depression. Those include changes in typing speed, voice tone, and word choice. Developers are still working out the ethics concerns like privacy issues, but they also needed to make sure kids grant permission to be tracked that closely.
CBS 46 is advocating for your safety on the roads. You know, nearly half of all accidents, they happen at night. AAA experts say low visibility is a contributing factor. They also believe cloudy headlights are part of the problem.
CBS News correspondent Ileana Diaz shows us what drivers can do to make their cars safer on the road.
As cars get older, the light from the headlights can fade.
So many people don't think that cloudy or yellow condition to the headlights can impact their driving.
But Doug Shoup from AAA says it can. Over time, sun and heat deteriorates the light's plastic. A AAA study found cloudy or yellow headlights generate about 20% of the light new headlights do. We took a car with new headlights and another where the plastic was faded and compared them side by side. You can see how much sharper the lights on the left are.
That visibility is key to prevent a collision out there on the roadway that could forever change somebody's life.
The most effective solution is to replace old headlights with new ones, but that can cost hundreds of dollars. Another option is a do-it-yourself kit, which can restore the original lights to about 70%. AAA used one on this car that sells for around $10. First, scrubbing away the oxidation.
We'll just continue the process until it's a smooth texture.
The light is then polished and a protective layer is added, a process that takes about 20 minutes.
Anything is better than driving around with only 20% visibility. The bottom line is do something, because someone's life could depend on it out there.
Experts say lights need to be checked regularly because damage can start in just 3 to 5 years. Ileana Diaz, CBS News, Los Angeles.
That's interesting. Clean those headlights if you can.
I gotta do mine.
Really?
Do yours? Do you want to do it for me?
Ugh.
Thank you.
All right, you buy the kit, maybe I'll do it. We'll see. Well, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star Waka Flocka says he is retiring from rap, but he says he has some news for fans about a new project. That's next in Astrid in the ATL.
And coming up at 11 on CBS 46 News, how safe is your hotel room? You won't believe what one man did, and you might even be disturbed.
Plus, a biting words crooner John Legend has for controversial singer R. Kelly. Also, $750 million. That's how much a John Benet Ramsey family member was suing for. We have the final word in that lawsuit. And a judge making a major move in the copycat allegation case against British singer Ed Sheeran.
Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look at what's trending right now on the internet. Singer John Legend is trending on Google, Mike.
Yeah, Brittany, according to People magazine, he's using his celebrity status to support the women who allege that they were abused by R. Kelly. Legend is one of the only stars speaking out in the docuseries Surviving R. Kelly. On Twitter, he said, quote, "To everyone telling me how courageous I am for appearing in the doc, it really didn't feel risky at all. I believe these women and don't give a blank about protecting a serial child rapist. Easy decision. R. Kelly has brought so much pain to so many people. Time's up for R. Kelly." Now, representatives for Kelly responded no comment to people's request for a response.
Burke Ramsey, the brother of JonBenet Ramsey, is trending on MSN.com. According to Rolling Stone magazine, 2 years after he filed a $750 million defamation lawsuit against CBS, the two sides have reached, quote, "an amicable resolution of their differences." It was over the network's docuseries, The Case of JonBenet Ramsey. The TV show pushed the theory that Burke killed his younger sister in the infamous unsolved murder of the 6-year-old girl. The terms of the settlement were not disclosed.
Will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheek?
Let's get it on.
All right, do those two songs sound familiar? The late great singer Marvin Gaye trending on Yahoo tonight. According to Fortune magazine, a U.S. District Court judge has ruled that a jury should decide whether singer Ed Sheeran's song Thinking Out Loud copied several parts of Marvin Gaye's classic Let's Get It On. Also, whether the rhythm in Let's Get It On should be copyrighted or copy protected in the first place. Now, Sheeran says that he did not copy Let's Get It On. He also argued that Thinking Out Loud has somber tones and centers on long-lasting romantic love, and that Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On is a sexual anthem.
I can't wait to see what comes out of that.
Yeah.
It's not the first time the Marvin Gaye family has accused another artist of, I guess, essentially stealing rhythms or beats or the music from Marvin Gaye.
But the judge is allowing the case to go forward in a jury trial, so it is good news for that family at least. So we'll let everybody know what happens.
Yes, we will. Atlanta rapper Waka Flocka says he's leaving the music business and chasing a new dream, that's acting.
Yeah, and he talked with Astrid in the ATL about his new film, and it's called Mollywood.
And if you play with my connect, I'll blow your brains on that strip.
Atlanta rapper Waka Flocka is ready for his close-up in an all-new gangster film.
Me, Chaz, and Lou Dean gonna slide on him at the gym.
The musician stars in his first movie called Mollywood. Although Waka was one of the newbies on the set, he's been practicing his craft for some time.
I got a mirror in the house now. You know, I got a big, like an exercise room with mirrors. Honestly, God, truth, I just talk to the mirror. God bless that Bernie Mac. He always saying, like, practicing with yourself is the best. Get into character. Like, I'm like, all right.
I am the instrument. I live to open the doors of their hearts. And I'm gonna make them pay at all costs.
Mollywood is an intense psycho thriller where a serial killer disarms his victims by drugging them.
Same scene that claimed your brother is hard at work playing another kids. How you doing, bro? I play a character named Bijou. Short-tempered, sells high-end street drugs, do anything for money.
The director of the film is Morocco Vaughn, known for his high-caliber music videos. He's a frequent collaborator with artists like Waka Flocka, French Montana, and Kanye West.
I shot some of his first music videos, and we've remained friends for a few years. And the opportunity came for a film, and I was like, yo, bro, come rock this film with me.
The movie was shot in Morocco's hometown of Chicago and Waka's Atlanta.
Very diverse. Our cast is literally from everywhere. White, Filipino, African American, and even Brazilian. So the flavor in the movie is something different by itself.
And although Waka said in the past he quit being a rapper, he's not done with the music scene.
I'm leaving the music scene as an artist.
Okay.
I'm never leaving music. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, we got that on camera.
I think the world, when somebody say they're retiring, they make people feel like we're kicking music to the side. No, I want to get into the business side of music.
While also expanding his acting resume.
That's all for Astrid in the ATL.
You heard what he said, the business side, so the ownership side.
That's going to be good. I was kind of afraid, but I'm jumpy. Maybe some people at home are jumpy too. Stop looking at me like that.
Stop being so paranoid. It's a movie. You'll be fine.
Oh my goodness.
Now, we now know that life does exist beyond our planet Earth.
And we have the Chinese to thank for that. Details next.
And we are tracking more sunshine for tomorrow, some more dry weather, and some very mild temperatures. But the mild temperatures are not going to stick around for long. I'll show you when the cold air starts to move in right after the break. Stay with us.
In tonight's Animals in the News, 165 German Shepherds rescued from a property here in Metter, Georgia. That's west of Statesboro. Investigators say they were found living in extremely deplorable conditions.
The dogs are of various ages and stages of health. Those in the need of most help were taken to the Atlanta Humane Society in Alpharetta and West Midtown. The owner of the property is facing animal cruelty charges tonight.
A Tennessee woman catching a catfish that weighs nearly 90 pounds on a lake here in Kentucky. It was caught on camera, and her name is Sina Saleem, and she says that she's been fishing her whole life but has never realized or actually reeled in something this size. You can tell it was hard for her to contain her excitement. After a few pictures to remember the catch, Saleem released the big fish back into that water.
All right, and here's a big fish with a pretty big price tag. This 612-pound bluefin tuna sold for a record $3 million in the first auction at the New Tokyo Fish Market. It was paid for by Kiyomura Corp, whose owner says the quality is the best, but he may have done too much. Either way, the bluefin tuna is an endangered species.
And let's take it to Germany now. Staff are giving zoo animals unwanted Christmas treats. The zoo says it takes only fresh, unsold trees and snacks, mainly for the elephants. However, the monkeys are given trees decorated with vegetables and seeds. Meantime, the tigers get meat ornaments to chomp on.
An historic moon mission is setting the stage for a new space race, this time between the U.S. and China. A Chinese rover took this photo behind us of an orange-tinted landscape on the far side of the moon.
And on Wednesday, it became the first ever space probe to land there. Tonight, Mark Strausman is showing us how this breakthrough actually might intensify the rivalry between our country and China.
The Chinese have landed. Their rover's high-definition images show the moon's far side, the one that never faces Earth. China intends to be a space power, to walk on the moon and eventually establish a lunar base. The Asia Society's Isaac Stone Fish is an expert on U.S.-China relations.
And what a change it's been from a year ago, several years ago, when the question was, can China innovate? Can China keep up? And now it's more of a question of, are they reaching parity and what happens next?
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
All 6 crewed Apollo flights, beginning in 1969, landed on the moon's near side. 12 men, all Americans, left flags and footprints, the last time in 1972. NASA's focus then shifted to low Earth orbit. In 2017, President Trump signed Space Policy Directive Number 1. The moon is again America's top spaceflight priority.
It's time to take all of what we've learned on the International Space Station and go to the next step for a permanent presence on and at the moon.
Jim Bridenstine, NASA's administrator, talked to us about the symbolic and scientific value of landing again on the moon.
We're the only nation on the Earth that's done it. All these other nations want to do it.
How important to deeper space exploration, Mars, wherever, is a lunar presence?
It's critical. So this gives us an opportunity to prove how are we going to live and work for a lengthened period of time on a world that's not our own.
NASA's planning for a solar-powered mini space station to orbit the moon called the Lunar Gateway, the next step to a Mars mission. Partners will include other countries and other companies. Their competition? China.
We are reaching a new era of U.S.-China relations that seems defined more by competition than collaboration, and a space race could certainly be a part of this future.
A glimpse into that future just landed on the far side of the moon. I'm Mark Strassman.
Now, China's lander also carried a biological experiment. It's actually going to track how silkworms, also tomatoes, and some small flowering plants will grow and develop on the lunar surface, if at all. So now there's actually life somewhere else in the solar system other than Earth, even if humans put it there.
That's kind of cool to think about.
The question is, huh?
Yeah, if it survives.
When are we going to see E.T.? When are the aliens? You know, E.T. phone home?
I think they're out there.
Oh, Michael. Okay.
Really?
Weather. How's that looking?
One day.
One day, Mike, I'm with you. We're actually going to see some sunshine for the next couple of days, and it'll be nice because our days are starting to get longer now. Not much longer. It's a very gradual process. We know that, but December 21st, that was our shortest daylight day of the entire year, and that was 9 hours 54 seconds here in Atlanta. Today, we had exactly 10 hours of daylight. By the time we get to January 31st, we're going to add an extra 32 minutes of daylight, and I know that makes a lot of people very happy, and now we have some great weather to enjoy our longer days. It's going to stay dry for the next couple of days in the foreseeable future. The system that brought us all of the rain on Friday, that's now well off into the Atlantic, and it's going to continue to push off to the east. High pressure starts to build in overnight into tomorrow morning. It'll keep our skies very clear. When you wake up and walk out the door tomorrow morning, it will be pretty chilly, but we're going to see a really nice recovery temperature-wise for tomorrow afternoon with plenty of sunshine, not a lot of wind, and high temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, which is unbelievable for January. We're not going to break any records, but we're going to get fairly close to the record for tomorrow. CBS 46 Pinpoint Camera Network. This is the world's busiest airport. You can see downtown in the distance, and right now skies are very clear and temperatures are quickly falling. It's 50 in Atlanta, 46 in Marietta, and 52 in Athens right now. Other areas will continue to fall into the 40s if you're not there yet. Eventually, even the upper 30s for some of us through the overnight hours. 39 in Rome, 41 in Marietta, and 42 in Atlanta. It might feel like the upper 30s, mid to upper 30s, I should say, when you step out the door tomorrow morning, because we're going to have a very, very light breeze out of the northwest. Temperatures continuing to fall under that clear sky. It's going to feel so nice outside tomorrow morning, a little bit more like winter, and tomorrow afternoon, it's going to feel a little bit more like spring outside. Plenty of sunshine, high temperatures again in the upper 60s, even lower 70s, 70 in LaGrange, 66 in Canton, and 68 in Atlanta. Our normal high this time of year, 52 degrees, so we are well above that, and that's the way it's going to stay not only tomorrow, Monday into Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is the day of change. We are going to see a cold front that moves through. It might produce a few showers, but the chances are so low. I don't even have them on the 7-day forecast, but you might see that change as we head into the next couple of days as we're keeping an eye on that system, but it will be that system that moves in some much cooler air, and we're going to see some mornings below the freezing mark again. It's been a while.
Pretty easy week for you, huh?
It's, you know what, we've needed it.
You work hard, Molly. We all know that.
I just say just an easy week. I mean, you know, with all that rain, you did a great job with that, but.
No appreciation over here. Now I'm trying to backpedal on that one.
You know what? You want to ally yourself with him? Nope.
Yeah.
Let's send it over to Fred.
I'm neutral. Fred's neutral.
Did Georgia pick up some of those recruits they lost to replace the guys who left? Well, highlights and commits from the All-American Bowl next in sports.